Hey everybody, Billy Watkins here with the whole package. I'm joined today by Paul Lococo. Paul Lococo, my favorite name in the organization, by the way.
I'm glad you said it that way because I used to tell people my name was Paul Lococo and they'd say, Paula?
Paula
Lococo? No, it's so I hesitate between the Paul and the Lococo.
A boy named Paula. You've been here for 17 years. I've known you my entire time. Indulge me, because I think it would be nice. I don't always know who our fans are or who's listening on any given episode, but I would just like to say, if you're out there, from Billy and Paul, hi Denise, how are you?
Saying hi to Denise because she's been here so long.
Yeah, and I miss Denise. I just thought that'd be nice. So tell me, how'd you get here? Where'd you come from?
Well,
how did you start working here?
I have been in Louisville my whole life, except for when I went to college for a few years. I graduated from St. X in 1973.
Okay.
I went to EKU on a golf scholarship from there, and mostly to play golf. And to do the college thing,
have a good time.
Yeah, I grew up playing golf at Seneca Golf Course, and that's where I met John for the first time when he was just a kid, just getting into his first job.
Mr. Gaynor.
I think it was his first job.
That's the man here at Premier.
Yep.
Just for those who don't know, if you don't know, what the heck? You have a picture, don't you?
Oh yes, I do. There's a picture of.
Look at this.
John and I when he was a young boy.
I mean, that is absolutely crazy. Two young guys with their futures ahead of them. But there was a period of time that you were you did something else. You weren't always in packaging. Where'd you get your start?
Well, I was in the meat business, which
is fun itself to say.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a wholesale restaurant service.
Okay.
And we packaged meat, portion cut steaks for restaurants, made hamburger, all that kind of good stuff. And that was back when you had to deliver to restaurants 6 days a week.
Okay.
So I was used to working a lot of hours, and that's the way we had to do it back then.
And it was Lococo's Wholesale Foods Inc.
Right.
And you were there for like 27 years, right?
Yeah.
President of the company.
Right.
And well, heck, you were delivering meat to restaurants that probably aren't even around anymore.
That's right.
That's right. The way the restaurant business is, right? What did you learn from that experience that has carried over?
You learned everything from payroll to cleaning to sweeping floors,
right,
to accounts receivables, accounts payable, rotation of inventory, which was very important because you either use it or lose it when you're dealing with a perishable, right? It gave me drive. It gave me a good sense of hard work.
Yeah, work ethic.
Yeah, good work.
So from Lococo's Wholesale Foods, you come directly to Premier. You were saying that basically you've had like two jobs in your life. That one and here at Premier.
That's right.
So what do you do? What's the title here at Premier? What do you do?
Purchasing Manager, and it extends out further than that.
Right.
But that's basically what the title is.
Yeah. Never our titles are never all inclusive of what we do here at Premier.
Yeah, we're basically inventory management of stocked inventory.
Do you have off the top of your head how many industrial items do we sell? Do we offer?
Oh,
I mean, is it 10,000? Do you have any idea?
I couldn't put a number on it, but it's thousands.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
More than 10.
I was confused when I first started working in customer service. Maybe I've talked about this before, that you're going through our finished good catalog of things to enter orders, and of course there was just within the miscellaneous items that we have, there was like I remember, this customer gets nails, right?
Yeah.
We sell this customer nails, and we sell this customer hangers, wire hangers, or wooden hangers.
And there's variations of both.
Yes.
Different sizes, and
never ending.
Right.
So, as purchasing manager for us, you're evaluating suppliers, you're negotiating contracts.
Not really.
Okay.
We have a sourcing team that takes the original negotiation for contracts and pricing for our vendors.
Okay.
Jeff Steele heads that.
Yeah,
up.
we've
And he's
spoken
very
to
good,
him before.
very good.
Yeah.
So we do work with him, of course.
So by the time it gets to you, at least that sort of thing is in
Right.
place.
That's correct.
And now it's time for you to start buying.
Right.
What's it mean? Premier has gotten awfully big. What's that mean for our purchasing power? Are we able to get good deals because of that?
Absolutely. We get great deals. And do we buy all we can with every buy? No. So do we have the ability to purchase large quantities? Yes. Do we purchase that large quantity every time? No.
Right.
There has to be that
There's a balance.
balance between warehouse space, inventory, time. How long are you going to have this on the floor?
When does it make sense?
Yeah, you can save a lot of money if you buy 6 months worth. Yeah, but by the time you ship 6 months worth of inventory, you've got shrinkage and you've got investment and you've got warehouse space that you stole from somebody else, and you have to balance all that out. So sometimes the largest quantity isn't the best. We have to buy and keep within our boundaries.
But our size and what we negotiate and with whom we negotiate has given us, while we are large, we're not the biggest, but we are competitive, I would imagine, with just about everybody, right?
Absolutely. There's some inventory items that we manage that we put the large quantity in, and we get the best price that way. It just depends on the vendor and the relationship with the vendor and the item and the product.
We are Premier spread out like 90 locations that we ship out of. We're in the U.S., we're in Canada, we're in Mexico, Brazil. Everybody keeps talking about Brazil, and I would like to get a piece of that action. Right, exactly. Right. I don't know, but sign me up. How does that affect your job? I mean, being everywhere all at once.
It doesn't really affect us here. The only thing that we do for these off-site warehouses that are in other countries is we may buy into Louisville and they transfer it to Canada.
Not something you have to worry about the a jurisdiction.
Right. We have a team. We have a team for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last 2 years has been extremely challenging for a myriad of reasons, but supply chain issues.
Oh wow.
Is it your favorite? Your favorite phrase?
Yeah. It was. I tell you what. It was really tough. COVID hit, and then that was like in March of 20.
Yep.
And then in February of 21, the freeze hit Dallas or hit Texas.
Yes.
And they lost power. So all of their resin manufacturing stopped. And you don't just start it back up again. They had miles and miles of piping they had to replace because all that stuff hardened in those pipes and they couldn't use them.
Wow.
So that, along with the COVID problems we had with employees, it was tough. It was tough for us here in our manufacturing, and it was tough for our vendors. They had to shut shifts down at some places, just like we did, and lead times went out.
Yeah.
3M had our largest selling tape. We couldn't even get it. We didn't know when we were going to get it. So they worked out an alternative tape for us to use.
Are we seeing an end to some of the supply chain issues? Is it ironing out, or where are we at?
It's getting better. Some of the lead times have come back. A lot of the lead times have come back, but we still have longer lead times now than what we used to have before COVID.
Right.
And that's just something that we have to deal with, and we have to adjust our reorder points and everything to cover the lead times.
So that's getting a little bit better, but then one door closes and in comes inflation. How is that affecting your job?
Well, that's a tough one too, because our buyers, we train our buyers to be smart buyers.
Right.
When they send a purchase order out, if the acknowledgement they get back isn't the price they sent that PO out for, they need to go to the vendor and push back and say, what's the deal?
Right.
Why have you changed the price on me? They need to have a good relationship with that vendor so they know who to call and who to talk to.
Right.
And that's part of their training that we need from our buyers. Then if there is a file in our system that shows increases, price increases, letters of price increases, and they can go to that file, which they do, to see if there is a letter for a price increase on that item.
Right.
And if there is, to make sure it's within the guidelines of that increase. And then from that point, they need to go to see what the product is selling for to make sure our margin is still there.
Right.
And if it's not, then they have to go back to customer service. So it's a relationship that purchasing has to have with customer service.
Right.
And also back to sometimes to sourcing to say, hey, we have this product we're selling and we're not making a margin. We need to find another vendor or something.
Right. Something ain't right.
Yeah.
Relationships all around kind of have to be kept and maintained and nurtured.
So our buyers have to have a good relationship with their vendors. They have to know their product. It can't just be a widget to them. They have
Right.
to know the packaging and the best freight for their quantity they're ordering.
Yeah.
And make sure they get the right quantity to get the right cost with the quantity breaks, yet not overstock.
It's tough because, like we just said earlier, the amount of items that we sell, to get some sort of knowledge about everything that we're talking about, it's a learning curve.
That's right.
And I know that we've got folks on our team now that are veterans at what they do, and they're pretty darn good at it. Like, your team on a daily basis is. We were having this discussion. You wake up every morning, and the first thing you do is start running reports, right?
Right.
To make sure that we have, do we have what we need to have for our customers when they ask for it?
That's correct. We have a conference call every day at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we go over the inventory level. We go over the usage. There could be an item on there that we haven't sold for 6 months, and all of a sudden we sold some, yet it's on the reorder report, and you say, well, wait a minute, why are we even bringing this into stock?
Right, right.
So that takes a communication with customer service to find out. And then the opposite happens. We have items that we might sell 2,000-3,000 a month consistently, and all of a sudden 10,000 went out the door. You're like, oh, hey, wait, what's going on? Is this going to continue?
Right. Is this a one-off? Yeah.
So we have to ask the why.
Right.
With customer service.
I've seen that around somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yes. We ask why.
That's right.
What do you find the most rewarding thing about your job is? I think we're kind of touching on it now, but
basically, the most rewarding thing I have is knowing John when I knew him.
Right.
Growing with a growing company like he has, from where he was to where he is today. That is, even my friends that also know John.
Yeah.
They're just elated with what's happened with him, and the growth we've had is just, it's just so satisfying.
It's kind of fun being on a winning team, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Being part of kind of meteoric rise.
Yeah, from Tradeport to where we are today,
right.
It's just unbelievable. I remember at Tradeport when I asked John if I could get a label machine to label product coming in the door so we could identify it in the racks. And John said, yeah, you can get it. It's $100
right.
piece of equipment, but I better not see it back there collecting dust.
Right. If you're going to get it, use it. Right.
Well, they used to, stuff used to come in the door and be a box with nothing written on it, and they would go to the receiver and say, I just got this in with the paperwork, and tell them where they put it in the rack. And then when they went to pull it, they couldn't identify it.
Right.
They just had to pull the box and ship it. They didn't even know what it was, right?
We've come a long way, baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I think what I was going to ask you before that I completely blanked out on is, after your experience in the meat business, is there like a twist to the story? Are you a vegetarian now?
No.
No. You're not? You still enjoy a juicy steak?
I'm still a steak guy.
Okay, good. This is weird, but they give me questions, and I'm going to ask them, but I feel awkward asking you. Are we? You've been working kind of nonstop for 40 plus years, right? Are we getting anywhere near retirement?
I
Is
will
it time for a
probably-
party?
I will probably not retire.
Okay, yeah. Keep working.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a 10 and 13 or 11 and 13-year-old that I'm still raising,
Yep.
and I need to keep working until they're 18. But then after they're 18,
What
am I going to do?
What are we going to do? Yeah. I mean,
so I might cut my hours back to 40 hours a week someday, but other.
cut it back
Yeah.
to 40 hours. I used to, there was a guy that used to work here that I would say, and it's kind of a dorky thing to say, but if it was Friday and I'd say, oh, thank God it's Friday, or whatever, and he'd look at me in all seriousness and he'd say, yeah, just 2 days left.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, God, that's
Yeah.
a horrible way to think about it, but all right, here we go. Anything? What have I not touched on something? We always talk about. I think you're kind of. We're always talking about the culture of Premier and why it's a nice place to work here. From my point of view, you're one of those folks that makes the culture of Premier what it is.
Well, I appreciate
So
that.
I just want to say that.
I appreciate
You
that.
saved my butt a lot in customer service. You were very polite about it, but you would call me and say, "Hey, that order's screwed up. You have ordered 10 million rolls of tape, or your pricing is wrong, and you're charging the customer $1 billion for staples."
Well, we still have some of those mistakes in our system, but we try to catch them before they get out the door.
I'm glad that you always had my back on that.
Yeah.
Very nice talking to you today, Paul.
Wow. Very nice being here, Billy.
Appreciate
it's good to
your
see
time.
you again,
It's
too.
good. I know.
Yeah.
We don't see each other enough. And thank you guys for enjoying the show. We hope you did. Until next time, this is Billy Watkins with Paul Lococo for The Whole Package. Thanks.
Do you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit crimpac.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.